Good. Okay, now you can hear me. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our seventh show with Vibe on Health. How's everybody doing? How's everyone doing? I know it's been a pretty busy week with the elections, and now we're able to kind of calm down a little bit and sort of wrap our heads around what's the events that have taken place. So I hope everybody is doing good. How are you doing, Marguerite? You got to take yourself off of mute, sweetheart. We can't hear you.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. We're
That's
following
okay.
orders, right?
I'm doing good.
How
Yeah.
about you, Sheila? After having your lemon water, I get hay. I should have me some. But how
I
you doing?
I text somebody reached out to say, "Hey, how are you?" yesterday, and I was like, "I'm sleepy, I'm busy, and I'm so grateful." And she was like,
Yeah,
"Use that." It's like it's
yeah.
real, but I'm super grateful. Always a pleasure to be here with you, ladies.
Yes, it is. And I see JL popped in. Hey, JL, how you doing? One of our starch supporters. We appreciate you popping in. Good
Yeah,
evening to you too as well.
And I see
Good
one of my
evening.
clients joined us, Vernell.
Hey, Vernell. Thanks for joining us.
welcome to Vibe on Health.
Yes, welcome. And
Sure.
I know we just had a little storm come through, so but I'm glad we did not lose any electricity like the last time. Thank you,
Yeah,
Lord.
that's true.
Right, right.
Thank you. Yeah, and we are so excited to talk about at least bring some natural ways to mentally calm down because it is so much going on right now that you can't even take a break before you kind of you know start getting past something, then something else comes. But God is in control of everything. We just have to get our minds right and understand that he is, and then things will calm down and we don't have to necessarily worry so much. But that's a process, and we understand that, right, ladies? It's
That's
process.
right.
Right.
Definitely a
I'm
process.
not right. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't worry. I do, but I have to learn how to break it down.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me, ladies, will one of you take over? I have to do a small thing and connecting my computer before it shuts off.
No, don't let it shut off, Don.
See, Gloria Jones just joined. Hey, how are you? She
Hey,
said, "Hey,
Gloria.
Hey, Gloria, nice you stopped in. Vernell, did we say hi to Vernell?
that's my
Vernell?
client."
Oh, okay. Hey,
Mhm.
hey.
Did you
So
get
anyway,
connected? Okay.
what was that? I'm sorry.
I just said, did you get connected? We don't want you to.
Yes, I am connected. It just boom.
Mm.
Trying to get used to this.
Technology, don't you love it?
Yes. But at least I'm still here. But we're gonna give some folks a little more time to pop in and join us. And we are so elated to talk about how we can, what is that, calm down and just kind of enjoy the moment, even though sometimes the moment may be a little bit rough. But there's ways in which we can manage it, and so that's what we want to be able to give to you. And we want to also disclose
Yeah.
that we are not doctors. We don't claim to be, and don't even want to say, because those that have gone to school and put time into their career and have become special at what they do, we're not trying to say that anything is wrong with that. All we're trying to do is just give you a natural approach to dealing with some things, and oftentimes a natural way is a good way because you're dealing with not the symptom, you're dealing with the cause. And so by getting yourself mentally and physically healthy, then that can perhaps keep you from having to deal with symptoms. Isn't that
Yeah,
right, ladies?
that's right.
Very
That's right.
true.
Yeah. So this is not medical advice, nor diagnosis or treatment. This is a health chat. We're just here to chat
Okay.
with you guys. We welcome you to give us your comments and tell us what's going on with you as well around the issue of, or the topic, today's topic of mental health. Let us know how you're doing and if there's something that we could address that you might be going through. This is a good time to share information, and that's what we're here for.
Yes, and we're going to segue into introducing ourselves. Is this a good time that we can introduce ourselves, ladies?
Yeah.
Good.
For those who are coming on at for the first time, yay! And for those that already know us, but we still like to introduce ourselves. So I'm going to start off. My name is Dawn Haley, and I just have a passion for natural health. I have not so long ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. And so by the grace of God and the love of family and friends, I decided to take a natural approach. And so during that journey, that has really allowed me to learn a lot about the body and its natural way that the Lord has created it to heal itself. And so that's my story, and that's what I enjoy doing, is sharing natural information that I can provide to our listeners. And that's my story. How about you, Sheila?
Okay, thank you so much for allowing me to go next. I'm a certified health coach, and I pretty much got into um, coaching, be, even though I've been certified for I think a couple years, but I really got into it because I seem to be always the go-to person when somebody got sick. I was taking them to the doctor. I was giving them, telling them about the natural ways to deal with asthma, take insulin, and just the right teas to take for certain things. And so I kind of always supported people along the path of natural health, and I love it. It's what I love more than anything else that I do, because like Dawn said, God gave us this wonderful body that heals itself, and if you feed it and give it the right tools, you can heal. And so I like to help people along that journey, so you don't feel like you're just out there by yourself without any resources. And so yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm just so honored to be here.
Yes, and thank you, Sheila, for that. That's one thing I can say about Sheila. She was one of my friends who, when I was diagnosed, got on the phone right away and called me and say, Dawn, had you considered something like this? And so she's a wealth of information, as well as our next guest, our next host, Miss Marguerite. You tell us a
Hello,
little bit about
everybody.
you.
Well, everybody out there in v- virtual in the virtual world. I'm so excited to be a part of Vibe on Health. We've been having so much fun. This is actually our seventh show,
Yeah.
and wow, it's just such a privilege to share this with you ladies. And I have always loved sharing information for health, and I'm also like a go-to person when people are looking into ways to, you know, natural alternative, because I have studied herbs. I'm a certified herbalist for the past 10 years, which I can't believe. I've been a massage therapist, which is definitely a natural technique for relaxation and health. And also, I'm into the CBD right now, and learning more and more about cannabis. So all that I feel is so helpful, for your family, your friends, and anyone who's interested. I'm just glad to be able to share information.
Yes, and thank you, ladies. And that's one of the reasons why we are so blessed as a unit to work so well together, because we all bring a different perspective to natural health. So that's really what makes us what, ladies? Vibe. Had to get that in. But I'm going to start off. I want to talk a little bit about some of the natural things that I have learned during my journey, and as it relates to mental health in a natural approach. And some of the things that I just, if any of you ever checked out my Facebook, I'm always talking about some main topics. One is air. You got to get some fresh air in your lungs so that that helps your body to naturally deal with the toxins and the the carbon monoxide that we breathe in and breathe out. Of quite naturally now with, with COVID, it becomes a little more difficult to breathe in naturally all the time, because if you're at work, if you're in a confined situation, you have to wear your mask, and hopefully your employer will allow you to get out. And I highly recommend getting out and getting some fresh air. So we're going to talk about, and I'm going to go through a couple of excerpts from this book called Health for Millions. And it was written by a natural hygienist. And it took me a minute to understand a natural hygienist, because of what I understood as being hygiene. But it's a natural hygienic way your body is to be maintained. And so that's, at least in my view, is where the natural hygienist comes from. His name is Dr. Shelton. His name is I'm sorry, Herbert Shelton. And one of the things that he pointed out is he talked about oxygen we take from the air. The presence of oxygen is necessary for performance, the function of life. It is essential to all the changes in tissues and our vital actions. Oxygen is not only essential to man's highest physical vigor and well-being, but also its mental health. So that just really makes so much sense when it talks about our mental health and how we need to use the natural things that the Lord gives us in breathing in and out to help us with our health. Now I'm going to we talked about air. And the other thing that we need to, which we don't get enough of, is rest. Now, rest comes in 4 phases, according to Dr. Shelton. Rest is the physical rest, which is that procures the ceasing of physical activity. How often do we continuously just keep going and going and going until we get exhausted? That's really not the natural way of doing things. We should always allow our bodies to take adequate rest, because that's what it needs to do in order to continuously support our health. So that's the first rest. The second is a sensory rest, which is secures by a quiet moment. Do you realize when you can get a quiet moment when you're meditating on, and for me, meditating on God, or just meditating on some good things that's going on in your life. It doesn't necessarily have to be meditating on something bad. Like my sister Jaya says all the time, go out and watch nature. Just watch nature and just reflect on the goodness of God. Go out and reflect on, or get you some sun. I'm always talking about that sun. Sun is, you're going to get your vitamin D, which is so healthy for us. And now that we're getting into the fall, we think, well, I got to keep my clothes on and put the coats and everything on. But you can still get outside and get you some sun, even all bundled up, even if it's just gleaning from the forehead to the face, you're still getting some sun. Now, the third is mental rest. That's something that we don't give ourselves, because if we're not doing something, it was something somebody said yesterday, you got something in the queue. Yeah, that's what we said. We were saying we're always working on something, but we always have something in the queue. We got to learn how to allow ourselves to not always be going again. You've got to give yourself a mental break, because if you don't, then it throws everything off. And the last is a physiological rest, which is reducing physical activity. And how I can relate to that is going back to one of the other terms that I use, that you got to allow the body to rest. And so I talked about rest And now I want to talk about the importance of blood in our brain. When I came across this, it blew me away. Our brain weighs about 3% of our body weight. So if you kind of toss that around, that could be 2 or 3 pounds. But the brain requires 20% of the blood. So there is a direct connection that our brain has to our nervous system is based on our nutrition. So if, say, for example, we're eating all the wrong things, and remember what I said, and I want to repeat that again. Our brain is 3% of our body weight, but it requires 20% of our blood. So if we're feeding our blood poorly digested foods, poor nutrition, we're feeding or eating things that are not going to give us the vitamins and minerals that we need, guess what is happening with our brain? Our brain is not receiving the amount of nutrients and vitamins that it needs to use that 20% blood or to operate. So in my opinion, and this is just all that it is, Alzheimer's and dementia is just running rampant. And unfortunately, my mom and now my dad is suffering from dementia. And I know there's probably everybody that's listening to us right now, they know someone who has either developed dementia or they're on their way to entering into dementia. So let's really pay attention to what we are fueling our bodies, because our brain, everything else, but we're just talking about mental health right now, but our brain requires you to take better care of yourself. So at the end, you're going to be taking better care of your brain so that it can effectively help you as you move along in life. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is what kind of foods can you incorporate into your diet that's kind of like brain food. So we always talk about your leafy greens. I cannot stress how important leafy greens are. Leafy greens are just so essential to our vitamins and minerals and macronutrients, micronutrients. It's just so important. So if I haven't, or we haven't sent it home enough, that you've got to start putting more vegetables into your diet. Beans and legumes, whole grains, not bread, but whole grains like oatmeal and different types of grains other than bread, because we do consume a lot of bread, but that's not the most healthiest grains for us. Berries and cherries, so important. Pumpkin seeds, walnuts. I was talking to my sister. I keep bringing my sister up, but anyway, we do a lot of talking about different things. But I was just telling her, look at a walnut. What does a walnut look like to you? It looks like a brain. So if you can include some nuts, turmeric, and just overall eat more natural foods than foods that are cooked. So I think I have just about added a lot of things to that can help your brain to naturally support a healthy way of life. So I'm going to now turn it over to Sheila.
So, yeah, those were some awesome points, Dawn. I almost wanted to jump in and just ask you the 3 levels of resting
The 4
again,
levels.
because I know
The
rest
4 levels.
is
Yeah,
it 4
the 4 levels of resting. Again, that is the physical rest. It's the sensory rest.
physical? Mm-hmm.
It's the mental rest, and then the physiological rest. Those are all forms of rest that are best
Okay.
during sleep. Sleep.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you started out talking about breathing,
Yes.
and you talked about air, and we just breathe in and out, and we take that for granted. It's really a great gift because it's the breath of life that the Lord gave from the foundation of the earth and the foundation of the world. And sometimes when you're feeling, when we talk about mental health, first and foremost, you're talking about, feeling uneasy, having anxiety, just feeling like things aren't quite the way they should be. So you're anxious, you're nervous, you feel stressed. Um, there's a lot of times you have negative thoughts that just weigh on you. You feel burdened by, just things in general. And um, it's important to learn how to cope with that because we're all going to have stress. Like you can't get through this world. I would be remiss to sit here and say like you're never going to have stress. That's not the case. And stress in and of itself can be a good thing because if somebody is about to run over your hit loved one with a car, you could intercede and move them out of the way really quickly. Your body needs that adrenaline to build up so that you can have the extra strength. And so that's a good form of stress. But the thing that becomes complicated for our bodies and for ourselves mentally is if we keep replaying the same scenarios over and over and over. And so Dawn talked about getting fresh air. And I could land back on that to talk about how air or breathing, deep breathing, slow, deep breathing is really good for you because it helps you to calm down and it sends a signal to your body that things are okay. So even though you might still have the same pressures and stresses in life, you're just going to feel a little bit better. And I've said that before, but it's worth repeating that something as simple as breathing. So there's a couple of techniques that I could share really quickly. One is it said that if you do this quick inhalation, like, and then three quick short breaths, and then and blow out. Everybody who's listening, do that really quick. Just go. And if you do that a few times, you're automatically just telling your body to calm down. And if you do it, say 5 or 6 times, 10 times, you can actually feel the difference. Another technique is to breathe in 4, hold for 4, and to exhale for 4. When you're breathing in through your nose. So it's something like this. So you're breathing in the oxygen that your body needs to get into your cells to carry it so that your blood can carry oxygen throughout your body and through your mind, through your brain. And then you hold for 4 counts and then you exhale. So those are things that are free,
Yes.
effective, and you can do that anywhere. So you don't have to go to the gym. You can do it when you wake up. You can do it in the middle of the day. If you feel stress coming on, or you're feeling some anxiety or uneasiness, the first thing that I always recommend is to deep breathe, or the three quick breaths, and then let it go, or either breathe in 4 and let it go. And then Don talked about rest. So rest allows you to, she described so beautifully the different types of rest. One of the things that we don't think about though is we need to rest from all the information that we take in. We're always on 24/7 news, and especially like with the election happening, everybody was just glued
Tuned
to the
in.
TV. Well, some,
Yeah.
but not everybody was glued to the TV and waiting to see what happens. But we do that with our favorite shows. We're watching binging on Netflix, phone, social media, Facebook, Instagram. Uh, it's recommended that you don't even look at your phone when you wake up in the morning. Figure out what you're doing. I say pray first.
Yes.
You woke up, so thank God for that. That's a blessing. There's plenty of things that are going to go on throughout the day that may not go the way you planned it, but the good thing is you won in a sense because you did wake up. Okay, so thank God for that. And a lot of people tell you, health experts say, you should meditate, take time for self-care and meditate. Well, I just convert that to prayer. The Lord tells us to meditate on his word. And so we need that inspiration. And I know people have different religious affiliations and faiths and all of that, but it's really important to connect with God first thing in the morning, and then figure out what He wants you to do. What's your purpose? What's your mission? Who can you help today? These are things that help you to come outside of yourself and maybe relax a little bit, so that you're not just focused on what's wrong with you.
That's right.
Somebody can raise their hand if I say, do you feel like something's wrong? We all feel. None of us are perfect. Is there anybody here who's perfect? I don't know anybody. And so we all are in this crowded room, and we're feeling like it's just me. It's just me. I'm the only one that doesn't have it together. When in fact, we're all feeling the same way, because we have something to work on. No matter what level you've attained or reached in terms of your goals, your aspiration, your dreams, there's always room for growth. And so we all feel like there's something that we can work on.
Right.
And so just in order to avoid some of the stress, like keep things in perspective, talk to people, get support. These are just kind of like basic things that you could do that don't cost anything. Sign up for a health coach. I give a free consultation. Dawn and Marcy do as well. In fact, I usually give people a couple of free consultations, and people feel better afterward, because it just helps you to put things in perspective. And so put the cell phones down, put the phones away before you go to bed at night. Turn your TV off before you go to bed at night. Don't listen to all the 10 o'clock or the 9 o'clock news, or 11 o'clock, whatever time you go to bed, and you're hearing about all of the crime that's happening and taking place. And then you're supposed to rest comfortably at night and get that rest that Dawn just talked about. It's not going to happen. You need time to unwind. So when we talk about mental health, we want to talk about focusing on ourselves for just a minute, to be a little selfish, right? For self-care. And there's nothing wrong with self-care. There's everything right about it, because if you're taking care of yourself, then you can help take care of others. So let's get it together. I was talking to my daughter the other day, and she was like, I need us to get well, because we got things to do. Like powerful people and women, in our community, and we can help. But you can't pour from an empty cup. So we got to take some time and make sure we take care of ourselves, shut down, like Dawn was talking about with the rest, disconnect from social media sometimes, and you could do a challenge with that. Give yourself, 7 days or 10 days or 30 days where I'm just going to not focus on social media the first thing when I wake up. And so this all kind of points to, I'll wrap up quickly, but this all kind of points to balance. And so one of the first things that I usually give clients is something called a circle of life, or you could call it a circle of balance. And in that, you can grade yourself on how well you're doing in certain areas of your life. So you want to look at how well you're doing with relationships and finances and health and spirituality, and you're just like grading yourself. So it's nothing that you have to share with anybody, but there's, certain components in this wheel. And basically, if you're on the outer edge or the red bold line, and so for each, let me start over. For each area, you want to place a dot on the line that's by the name. And so can you blow that up a little bit bigger so that we can see it really quickly if we can? So if you place a dot towards the middle of the wheel, then that's a lower grade. If you place a dot towards the outer red bold line, say with spirituality, I would place myself, towards the outer edge, because I think I do pretty good with checking in with the Lord, reading, sharing what I know, and all of those things, and practicing what I read, right? I'm living, walking by faith. Not perfect, but I'm working on it. And then if I look at education, I might be somewhere in the middle. There's still things I want to do with my education. And then I would skip over to another side of relationships. And that could be a one-on-one relationship with your significant other. That could be a relationship with your mother or father. We all have relationships. We have relationships with our neighbors, with our children. So think about significant relationships that you're in, even if you're not married, or if you are, what are relationships that you need to work on, and how would you grade yourself? So you place a dot on these different lines, and then you want to connect the dots. And so just like you have the outer edge that's red, what you'll have is like kind of a jagged demonstration. And you can start seeing the areas that you need improvement and work on those things. Set goals for yourselves and start working on those things. And as a health coach, I could help you with, outlining some of the things that you might want to work on. And then the interesting thing is, say I might rate myself well in spirituality, maybe not so good in home cooking. So I want to start working on home cooking. What happens is as you work on one area, it kind of starts rounding out the other areas. Because now that I'm home cooking, I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm saving money, so that's helping my finances. My health is getting better, so that moves out a little bit more. I'm learning things, and my brain is working because you stimulate your brain by learning new things. So now that kind of falls under education, and that starts rounding out. So that's the interesting thing is as you work on these different components of your life, then they all start rounding out. And you can, take this quarterly. You can take this little self-test quarterly or, every month. Or if you're just feeling bad or feeling like, I don't know what's next and what I should do, this is a helpful tool that you can use to help bring about some balance so that you can focus on self-care, start supporting yourself so that you can support others. And that's basically what I wanted to share today. Is to, make sure that you're in good balance, praying, resting from social media, putting yourself in situations to be in healthy environments with relationships, clean your house, eat your healthier foods, like Dawn said. And these are just good tips that we can all use. And
Yes. Free is the key word. And thank you, Sheila. And it's something I just want to add is that, we're talking about this for adults, but we should be also teaching our children how to implement these small steps because kids today, little ones today, they know how to get on that phone, that computer. I mean, so their brain is already being channeled to sort of let these devices manipulate their train of thought. So if while you're working on you, incorporate that with your children. So thank you, Sheila. That's always some great information you put on the table so that we can digest. And so Marguerite, I know you got some good stuff to share, girl. So come on.
From
yes.
very, very good information tonight. I really enjoyed both of you guys. I always get so much out of this show, even though I'm a participant. I learn a lot. And it's like what we need, definitely.
Yeah.
And just to land back on my girls, I had to come in with the you talked about nutrition and giving yourself supplements and things for brain health and mental health. So as a CBD specialist, I want to point out tonight the benefits of CBD and even share some testimonials because people have been finding CBD to help with anxiety, depression, and even insomnia. So one thing I wanted to point out is our bodies do come from the ground and herbs and food and fruit and vegetables come from the ground. That's why it's such a powerful connection.
Yes.
And what blew me away when I really started studying the cannabis plant is that our bodies need CBD. There's a serious connection between our bodies and what's in CBD is a compound from the plant cannabis. There's a lot of compounds, THC and some other compounds, but CBD is the one that does not get you high, which a lot of people are so scared of. They say, I don't want to get high. And I'm like, believe me, I'm the squarest person you ever met during high school. So I'm telling you about it, it's safe. But just to put that out there, that it does not get you high. And also that it's not approved by the FDA, but it is, for knowledge and information here. And think about some of the things the FDA does approve and all those scary side effects. So
yeah.
So do your research. That's all I wanted to say. And My study in the cannabis now has been over 2 years, and I'm with a company called Wakana. And I'm so excited to be a part of this company because it is Black owned. It's co founded by 4 Black women. And it's right here. The headquarters is right here in Chicago. So, two exciting things right here in Chicago, 4 Black women. One is a dynamic, our CEO, Melissa, and Boston. And then we have a doctor. She's the chief medical advisor, Dr. Rita McGuire. And she does, if you guys really want to get into studying cannabis, hit me up because Dr. Rita presents so much amazing information. I would love to share with anybody who's interested. And then we have 2 other ladies, Phyllis Nash, and one lady, her name is Dr. Pat. That's our headquarters right there with the Dr. Rita standing in the middle, showing our beautiful display of all our products because the CBD comes in various forms. Some people don't like to smoke, or, we do have pre rolls, but some people don't like smoking on the pre roll, or you prefer not to vape. And even some states have banned vaping. But that's okay because we have other products. We have the gummies, we have the tinctures, which you put a few drops under the tongue. You hold it. I count to 60, then I swish it around in my mouth because it's anti-inflammatory. So it's even good for your gums. And as we age, we got to fight, gum disease and everything else. So it's good for your gums. Swallow it, and it's going to go through the system, and it gets out inflammation. So back to the brain, because like Don was saying, my parents had dementia too. And of course, when you see your parents go through it, the first thing you thinking about is, I'm going to get that age one day.
Right.
So you want to protect your own brain. So I love what Don was saying with the brain health. This is my own personal dispensary we have right here. And, we have the topical products, which people love because as a massage therapist, I can massage you with the CBD topical. And it's very, it relieves tight, tense muscles and relaxation. And so, yeah, like I said, our main office is in Chicago. We have a variety. We have a lotion that's really good for skin breakouts like psoriasis and so forth. Like I said, the the tincture, I take that once a day, but you can even take it 2 to 3 times a day. People have found it has really settled them down and they don't have anxiety anymore. I remember one lady testified that she didn't even know she had anxiety. She was taking CBD for something else. She was taking it because she was having problems with her eyes, for her vision. And we all know, you think of cannabis and glaucoma, things like that. But for her, as she began to do her regime with the tinctures and everything, she said, man, I feel so calm. She said, I realized I had been going through anxiety and didn't even know it. It was a way of life. And sometimes all of us can do that. It's such a way of life. We don't even realize we are stressed. It's just our normal pace in life. So these type of things can bring down that anxiety, all ages. I'm listening to teenagers, what they call Generation X, and the millennials on up to baby boomers, all dealing with anxiety and stress, especially during this time of COVID and the racial unrest and the politics and everything going on. So it's very much needed, very much needed. And so back to what I was saying before, our bodies need cannabinoid. Actually, cannabis or CBD this is a compound that's in other plants, not just the cannabis plant. And what I found out is even a mother's breast milk has CBD in it. The cannabis, not the cannabis, but the compound CBD. So our bodies have receptors, and actually we have receptors throughout our bodies. I don't know if the slide is up yet where I was going to show that we have different organs that are receptors: our eyes, our intestines, liver, just all the organs of the body are actually receptors. And what the CBD does, it brings your body back into homeostasis. So this is why people who have been having seizures, people who even for cancer, is known to shrink tumors. I mean, it's just really bringing your body back into homeostasis. So the whole family needs it. And I just wanted to go over a few testimonials one that stuck out in my mind, because as a herbalist, I worked with a lot of parents whose children have ADHD, which is another mental problem we deal with. And so the lady described how her son, he gets so nervous when it comes time to take a test. He can even get himself so worked up that he stuttered really bad. So she asked the nurse and the principal at his school if it would be all right if he take a gummy, a CBD gummy, right before his test. I think he might have been elementary school. So she said she picked him up from school. He come busting out to school so excited and so happy that he got through the test without being nervous. And she said she even realized he wasn't stuttering anymore. So I thought that was
Yeah.
a fantastic testimonial, because
Yeah.
so many people come to me with children with ADHD. And then people were just dealing. I talked about the lady who didn't even know she had anxiety, students, people who just don't like crowds, who, just feel
Yeah.
that tension all the time. You could take your gummy.
Paranoid.
Me and my
Yeah.
friends who are into the CBD, we always joke about, I just took a gummy, or I made sure to have my CBD with me, because that's going to mellow you out. And another thing, like you guys were talking about before, the importance of good rest, deep sleep. This is why we're so happy to offer the gummy at night. You can take a half a gummy at night and go into that deeper realm of sleep.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
had one lady, she was like, Marguerite, I don't know about this CBD stuff, but if it can help me with my insomnia, you got me. I'm sold. So she did try it, and she is a regular customer, because she said, I haven't slept like that in years. So, and even
Yeah.
another sister from Bible class, she's always buying, herbs and different things from me. And I'm like, did you actually take it? Did you try it? And then she said, I have to admit, me and my husband had a crazy day. We were running around, and then she said, I looked at the bottle and I said, well, hey, let's try this. So she said they both took a few drops, and it was right before the Sabbath. She said they laid down and went to sleep. She said they woke up the next morning like, whoa, what was that? We slept so good. And she said her husband, this is another non-mental health one, but he had a real bad toothache. She said he was taking Tylenol, he taking all this stuff, and he still had a toothache. So she said, let me just try putting a little bit of that CBD oil right on the exact tooth. And the pain went right away.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So these are examples how it's helping us, and that's why I'm just you can tell how excited I am.
Yeah.
And you get the results. You know what I'm saying? People calling you with these results is such a blessing. And yeah. Oh, and that one article she brought up, I thought it was interesting, because they said a lot of the side effects of the medicines we take for asthma, for even contraceptives, high blood pressure medicines you take for your acne, cortisols, they all affect your mental health and mood.
Yes.
That's the side effect of some of the drugs.
Yes.
So that's something to consider.
Yeah.
Maybe ways we can alter and not have to take the drugs anymore is possible. Or just make sure, talk to your doctor about it. Doctors, are sometimes open to holistic health.
Yes, they are. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Marguerite. You know what? I'm sold. I've been sitting on the fence and about this. I'm one of the ones that's thinking, okay, I'm taking drugs, and
that's everybody. That's everybody.
I'll admit, I'm lame when it comes to that, but I'm gonna have to, because my husband has been dealing with every now and again he'll get some inflammation on his knee. And of course, I'm always telling him, eat that turmeric and, get out there and let's move. But it sounds like maybe he needs to try some CBD oil, or even the gummies. I may even take the gummies myself, because one of the things I do to help me relax, and maybe that might be something someone else does, when I'm really wound up, when I allow myself to go too fast, what helps me to relax is I just turn on Psalms and just let it rock me to sleep. I just listen to Psalms, and the next thing you know,
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I like to put on water, like Vernell. I don't know if she's still on. Some of my clients, as soon as they get on my table, like, Marguerite, put on my waterfalls, put on my birds, put on my. They love to hear that. So while they're getting a massage, they can relax and listen to the gentle music in the background. So yeah.
Right, right. Because music, what
Mhm.
soothes us. And the other thing
Mhm.
that I just want to end, and then I'm going to ask everybody else to give their little takeaway. One of the things I am an advocate for, and I do myself, is mentally. What helps me is when I'm serving other people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you could have the worst day in the world, but if you get out there and just serve other people, that will bring a perspective to you. Not that you will feel sorry for individuals, but the ideal that you're helping someone else, and it just seems like the Lord just kind of floats it away. And
Mhm.
next thing you know, you feel better about that day because you've served somebody. So that's what I want to end with is you can always, whenever that day is, you tried whatever, but get out there and serve somebody. That truly will change your whole outlook when things just seem like you just can't get out of that circle.
Yeah.
And that's what I have to say. What about you, Sheila? What would you like for our audience to take away?
So many thoughts come to mind, but first, before I wanted to mention, and I saw Eileen Roper in the chat. I saw Naphtali Israel. Fred said he was grateful that I told you about juicing Dawn, and Francesca, one of our regulars, was here. You know, Lisa Bullock and Kai. So we want to I wanted to just, before I forgot, I wanted to acknowledge you guys because we're having
Yes.
a good discussion and learning all these this great information. And so we didn't recognize some of the people and Danielle Dorsey. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to say, hey, everybody, thanks for being here. And my takeaways are you are not by yourself. You're not alone. When you're feeling like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you're feeling anxiety and stress and pressure, suppression and depression, you're not alone. We all are going through this thing. We all are feeling in some ways out of sorts, trying to figure out what's going on and what's the next move, And so, um, reach out for support if you need it, even if you need to see a counselor. It could be a health coach or a therapist. There's nothing wrong with taking
Yep.
care of yourself. And if you feel like you need to go that extra step after you prayed, after you got on your knees and your face and done everything else that you can, read your Psalms, if you're still feeling a little bit disconnected, please reach out to get support because you're only going to be able to do more once you feel a little bit well yourself. And so
Right.
self-care is just really important. Don't forget to deep breathe, um, disconnect from social media and a lot of drama, reconnect in a positive way, and learn to, do your affirmations. I can do all things through Christ, that strengthens me. And there's so many different things. Like I help people to put together affirmations based on what their needs are. And so feel free to reach out to me at She's Healthy Too. And I look forward to talking with you all soon and continue to vibe with us with these healthy tips that we're sharing.
That's right. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Sheila. How about you, Marguerite? What would you like for us to take away besides that CBD oil?
Oh, most definitely. Well, that goes with nutrition for our nervous
Yes.
system because the
Yeah.
nervous system is one of the links of, depression and anxiety. If we vitamin B is a big one, and we need to nourish that nervous system. And don't forget that you have an endocannabinoid system too that has just been discovered in the 90s, and that's where the CBD comes in. And also, I like to say hello. Sheila did mention everybody, but I see Angela Franks Muse. She's a friend and a neighbor. Thank you, Angela, for joining.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
Danielle, Sister Danielle, I had sent her a few texts. So hint, hint, hint. She's like, come on to the show.
Yeah.
So thank you,
Yeah.
everybody who came out tonight. And we do have a Facebook group too. So it'd be nice if you guys, the days that we're not here, which is once a month, you can go to the Facebook group Vibe on Health, and we post articles and tips and ideas, and you can share your information and vision and concerns. And it's a nice way for us to chat it up some more.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for reminding us about that. And please chime in, because sometimes we don't get all of it out when we have our shows. And so we definitely want your feedback, even if you let us know what you would like for us to even talk about, because it's always good to get some intake from or some responses from our audience. And so, as a matter of fact, I was thinking we didn't have any questions tonight. That's a new one. No questions tonight, huh? Not at all.
I was just thinking of taking a step and trying some of the CBD gummies, and maybe some people in our audience might want to try some.
Mom's Herbs. And I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Mom's Herbs.
To try some gummies, some CBD gummies, because
hit me up.
We could do this is off the cuff, but we could do a giveaway, and I'll sponsor the gummy giveaway if anybody wants to try some. I don't think anybody who's raising their hand right now, but maybe that's something that we could do.
I'm raising my hand.
I'm raising my hand. You never know what might happen at our next.
Yeah, because everybody is different, and you do have to try different things to work well for your body and your body chemistry.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but you know what? Before we do end, we always now have to thank our humble crew behind the scenes.
Yes.
Because if it wasn't for our producer D, aka Dacia, and Tom, we would not look as good as we do. Really.
And not so couple.
The power couple. Yes. We are so blessed to have them in our midst. So thank you, Dacia and Tom, for all that you do. And please just don't stop. keep it going. And so we thank you. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody said gummies help with insomnia and sleep. I take them and they taste good. Yeah, okay. All right. I'm sold. Okay. Sold.
To try some.
I am going to. And you also too mentioned, I think you mentioned too, that your cup is full. Is it Daniela? Is it Danielle? Yeah,
Danielle.
Yeah, she said, I think I recall her stating that she does a lot of giving and helping and serving, which helps her cup to stay full. Yeah. You guys are so thorough. Thank you. Praise God, because it's not us. We just
it's a blessing. Yeah.
It truly is a blessing. And thank you so much. We need to be encouraged always, to know that what we're doing and what we're bringing, it is something useful that you can use personally. And like Sheila said, it's free.
Vernell says free. Expire. That's a good question. Well, I'm pretty sure they have a date on it. I have to look on the bottle, but they don't expire that quickly. Most people eat them up before they expire.
I would imagine so.
I'm going to send Francesca some, so let's connect on that. She said she raised her hand and she wanted to try some, and Francesca's been on every one of the 7 shows that we've had. She's really one of the first ones in the room. She stays to the end, and then she texts me telling me what she learned and how much she appreciated. So just as a way to say thank you for supporting us, we want to support you. So we're going to send you a jar pack, however it comes in the gummy.
Sample pack, yeah.
And you know what? I'm just looking at Kai B. That's my daughter. I call her my bonus daughter. And I just never knew her handle name. I mean, maybe it might have come across me, but I'm just realizing, hey, sweetheart, you and I both are going to use these gummies, because we sort of travel the same road as it relates to just being so wound up all the time. So yes, we're going to try it together.
Hi.
And yes, what was that?
I said it's Kai B.
Yes, Camille. It's Camille. It's Camille Haley. Yes. But anyway, we've enjoyed ourselves as we always do, and we thank you for chiming in. I just want to leave by saying that I have a podcast that I do twice a month called Let's Chat About Life. And some of the things we talk about is what we touched on today. I try to keep it light and just, just real and relevant. When I have my podcast, I have my standing co-host JL, who she's always bringing it. I gotta look at her in awe when she comes up with things that she's sharing with our audience. So check us out. It's called Let's Chat About Life, and that's what I'd like to share. How about you, Sheila? What's going on? What's going on in your world?
I am wearing some different hats right about now. I'm helping family members with moves and looking for houses. I'm doing I have my own business doing bookkeeping and accounting. I'm doing that. I've got a few clients that are waiting for me to book with them, 3 or 4. So I'm busy, and I definitely need some of the gummies.
Yes.
I need sleep. I need to disconnect. All the stuff that we talked about. I'm actually starting a challenge as well this month to have fresh celery juice, which is good for inflammation and your skin and your liver detox and all of that. So I'm going to be doing some challenges. So stay tuned to She's Healthy, eating raw, and some movement, like some yoga or something. I'm going to put together a little program. I have some people that are waiting for me because I really make the bomb juice, fresh vegetable juice.
Mm-hmm.
I have some 3 people that are waiting for me to give them some packages. So there's just a lot going on. I'm excited. I'm just, the thing about personal growth is if you don't feel challenged, that means you're not doing enough. You should feel challenged. So we should feel a little pressure to get out there and keep things going. But yeah.
Yeah.
I've been eating raw and weightlifting since listening to you ladies.
That's awesome.
I've implemented some things, and I have dropped a few pounds. So thank you guys.
All
You guys are a
right.
blessing. It was so hard eating raw for 5 days. All I ate was salad and smoothies.
That's it. Some nuts. Throw some nuts in there.
I had some nuts. I had nuts, salads, and smoothies. I got to get some more recipes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what I'm going to go back into as well. Because you dropped a few pounds, and I think I picked them up.
It's hard, and you know what? And I want to end by allow yourself to be you sometimes without having to have all that other stuff going on. Allow yourself to just say, I'm not doing anything. No. You want me to do something? No. Learn to use that word. No. And it's okay. It's okay because you're always saying yes. And so allow yourself to be comfortable with that word no sometimes. And no, I'm learning. Yeah. What was that?
No is a complete sentence.
Yes. No.
You don't have to say anything else. You don't have to explain it. You just say no.
Yes.
I had to learn it too.
Oh yeah. I mean, you have to learn it, especially when you're so used to saying yes. So that's one added on to what we wanted to share tonight. But everyone, thank you again. Everybody, please take care of yourself. Please get you some air, some fresh air. Breathe, take those deep breaths, and enjoy the gifts that God has given us. In spite of everything else going on, it's still some good out here, and reflect on it. So everybody, again, peace. And if everybody else want to say, ladies, good night, good night, and good night.
Grease and hair grease.
You got some gummies? Eat some.